Hey everybody, welcome back to Play the Hits. With you as always is Belle Delphine, and I'm Nikocado Avocado. How you doing?
I know the first one, not so much about the second.
you
Kind of
only
wonder if you
know
just made that
you
up.
only know the first one from Happy Max's Happy Time. I think
No comment
Nikocado
there.
Avocado is a mukbanger who is slowly killing himself on YouTube for views.
Wait, is he the one that was like used to be like a health nut and
Yeah.
was super thin? Oh my
I don't
God.
know. I don't know like a substantial amount about. I forgot where we are. This is gonna be fun. I don't know a substantial amount about him other than he has the reputation for making super obnoxious videos and just not treating himself well.
Oh jeez. I
Which is
remember
sad.
before mukbang was like really a thing.
Am I even pronouncing that right? Mukbang.
I think so. I don't know. I feel like it's really only come into prominence in the past 4 years, not even. But
Well, it's basically just eating obscene amounts of food on camera, right? Oh, I
yeah,
went the wrong.
I think there is kind of a
Right? Yeah. Hold on.
ASMR part to it, I guess,
Really?
where people
Oh, that
get
sounds
pleasure out
unpleasant,
of it.
though.
Yeah,
I'm
really
not sure I'd
get
want
any
to
pleasure
hear
from that.
like the sound of like chewing and snarfing and
Yeah, I
gobbling.
think that's what it is, and I would definitely not want like that. Is not my idea of a good time.
No,
Like,
I'm sorry.
I'm into some shit, but like I feel like
Oh,
I
God,
just
you made me-
associate food with like self harm.
Yeah, no. See,
I'll eat a lot when I hate myself. Like
whenever like food is incorporated into sexy time, I'm always reminded of the Seinfeld episode where George tries to do that.
like peek his head out of the covers.
Yeah, and
take
eating
a
the
big bite of-
pastrami.
like a mustard pastrami sandwich.
Oh shit!
Oh, get it, get it.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Whoa, nice.
I got it. Oh, it's back.
Right off the bat.
She's a fast boy. We're gonna be fine. I fucked up. We're
Yeah,
not gonna be
totally.
fine.
Okay, give up hope. Oh,
Oh god. He's so rapey, you know?
oh, come on.
It's okay. As soon as he gets up there, we're sprinting. You don't know where I am.
Run away, not today.
All right, hold on. We want to get down here to Burinia, which means I've got to go. It looks like up and around. Okay, I kind of remember where we are now. Oh god.
Honestly, I've learned to appreciate simple maps as I'm playing Aria. It's
Yeah,
like
right?
that is so easy to read.
It is, and this one is complicated as all shit. It's not quite as like I actually really enjoy its complexity. But,
Well, Samus Aran, she has a lot of powers, and they're trying to help you by being like, you can't go through here. You need
yeah,
this.
right. They're doing a lot more like icons on the map to help you navigate, but what ends up happening is it does look crowded.
It's a little bit, yeah. It's kind of overload. I just look at that and I'm like, ugh.
Oh, I've gone
Yeah.
the wrong way. No, I haven't. Okay, we're good. Yeah, no, I do the same
Alright,
thing.
cool.
Like it was actually worse in the did you play the Metroid 2 remake on 3DS?
No.
It's really good, but like one of the only complaints that I have about it, like one of the reasons that I think AM2R is the better game overall, is that in that one, strangely enough, like the map was kind of like this one. They gave you a more detailed breakdown, but within the map, like it was kind of like they would have like a single hallway, but in that hallway would be like multiple branching paths, and it was how do I put it? Like the game kind of got in the way of itself a little bit. Like like even though it was one single hallway, you needed to like navigate a morph ball maze to get through it or something like that. So it wasn't just like even when you were fully upgraded, it wasn't like you could just run from one side of the map to the other, like the end game overpowered mode.
I was about to say,
it's
nice to have endgame overpowered mode. Like
it is, and like you still get that in a lot of ways, but like the map itself it's almost like too tightly packed, and this game kind of flirts with that. We don't have the Spood Booster yet. This game kind of flirts with that, but it does it better than than Samus Returns overall.
Okay, yeah, I would say if we're going between AM2R and Samus Returns, like that's easy for me. Like I think AM2R is better than Fusion.
Oh yeah,
and
dude. AM2R is like second, barely second to Super Metroid for me. And honestly,
yeah.
Super Metroid only wins that because of nostalgia.
Nostalgia, yeah, I would agree.
Like AM2R, I would say is like the actual better playing game, and it's one of the it is the only fan game I've ever played where I don't really even consider it like I would most fan projects. You know,
it's kind of like in your mind almost. It's like this Metroid 2.
Right. it is my canonical way of playing Metroid 2 because it was just made with so much love by the person who made it. And their goal wasn't to make like an ultra complicated fan game. You know, it wasn't like one of the Kaizo games or anything.
Yeah, right.
It was literally just meant to be a stopgap while Nintendo was creating their own Metroid 2 remake. But
yeah, like literally
surpassing them in a lot of ways.
Kind of for the masses, like anyone who enjoys Metroid is supposed to enjoy this game,
right?
And not like you said, it wasn't like a Kaizo game or something.
No,
that was like,
no,
it limited appeal.
And it's crazy to think about though because it is a fan game, but the level design is like on par with Nintendo at their best.
Yeah, so one guy doing that is really nuts.
Oh,
like,
it blows my mind.
It's crazy. I would say Super Metroid, it definitely has the nostalgia factor. I'll give Super Metroid the edge, not for gameplay.
This is where I want to go.
Okay, even though there's nothing wrong with the gameplay, it's just AM2R is very tight, but at the same, I think the boss fights and the story is just better in Super Metroid.
You know, Super Metroid to this, actually, I will say that this game actually gives some of the boss fights in Super Metroid a run for their money.
Oh yeah,
like
that grade fight I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I don't think they're quite as iconic as the bosses in Super Metroid, but I will say that like the mechanics of fighting them are better.
Yeah,
like every boss has a really distinct pattern to learn, and the first time you fight them, they all feel like almost impossible. It's like, holy crap, how am I gonna get past all this crap? And then you do it a second time, and you're like, okay, I can dodge that one attack. And then you do it a third time. It's like, okay, I can dodge a couple of attacks.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
And they just, every time you die, you just restart in the room right before them. There's no load and get back to them. It's just
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never felt that way in Super Metroid until the boss fight in Meridia. And that wasn't a bad boss fight. I was just a little kid. And that ended up being the hardest one for me.
And there was a severe trick to beating it.
That's true. And I would say like,
boom.
It's not that hard to beat it without that trick.
No.
It was just hard for me as a kid.
It's just kind of a missile sponge.
Yeah, you were the one that told me that. Like, I didn't believe you. I was
you
like,
didn't believe that there was a cheat
way
to beat it. All I did was read my Nintendo Power, Max.
I thought that was so cool.
God, there is an issue of Nintendo Power that I would pay to have again. Is the
what's that?
The Super Metroid issue.
Oh, I wonder if we still have all of our Nintendo Powers in my parents' basement.
Dude,
somewhere.
You may be sitting on like actual gold if you do. Not that you would ever sell them, but you know.
No, and we've worn those things out.
Oh yeah, I bet.
But the old Nintendo Powers, I feel like were rare because they had the Nestor comics.
Oh, I know.
That annoying kid with the orange hair.
Yep. Dude, and the one that I want more than anything, and it's really not even. Well, I think it was technically an issue, but one issue was just a straight up, like that was the Link to the Past strategy guide, if I remember right.
Oh yeah.
I may be remembering that wrong. Maybe Nintendo Power just put out an official guide, but I feel like for one of their issues, it was just the Link to the Past strategy guide.
What I'm remembering, and I wish they would make books, like, you know how they compiled all the Link to the Past comics and the,
yes, and the Mario ones.
Mario Brothers comics, and I finally got those books, but...
Oh, really? I've had both of them. They're like little legacies, and I'm leaving my boys.
Yeah, you, finding the Mario Brothers one was kind of... took me a while.
Did it?
But, yeah, eventually found it, like, I think they re-released it, and so I found it at, like...
Oh, really? Nice.
One day.
You know what's crazy is those are, like... really like they're fun comics. They're not just like toy commercials. They're like, in fact, they're not toy commercials at all. They're actual full plots that Nintendo
and they're
Power,
totally original stories.
Yeah, that Nintendo Power just straight up released as part of their magazine. That's incredible.
Like the Mario Bros. You got Lloyd. First of all, you have Princess Peach in Luigi's costume, which as a little kid, I don't know why. I don't know why that did it for me, but it did it for me.
God, I want to jump those green overalls.
Weirdest boner as a kid. But...
right. Well, at least it was for Princess Peach and not like Yoshi, you sick animal.
Yoshi in a cart or something. Yeah,
right, Max.
I've read that fanfic.
Oh God, Yoshi.
Dude, I can't remember. I know you have Smash Ultimate, right? Or you do not?
Yes, okay. I do. Go ahead.
Did you play through the World of Light much?
No,
I think we talked about this.
I cheated. I used the cheat method to get all of the character unlocks. I haven't purchased any of the DLC, and I think the overall reason that I'm not quite as into that one as I am the other ones is just because like I got so into Melee. It actually would have served me to damn it.
Wow.
Oh no.
Get it.
Nope. It would have served me to hit that thing. I completely lost my train of thought now. Oh,
you got into Melee.
I got super into Melee because I would like play it every single day with some of my friends from high school. And without like that, it was almost like an accountability group, you know?
Okay.
Like, have you been playing your Melee? You know, like without that, oh god, what have I done? I forgot what button is the grappling hook.
I was not into this, but yeah, Melee was a way of life for some people.
Yeah,
like...
and like we got super into Melee, and so
so kind of like you don't want to hit that again.
Right, that was the only one I was ever actually really, really good at. Like,
you're in good company.
I had actual like chops as Falco.
Yeah, I know. I remember Falco was your guy.
Yeah, Falco was my to the point that I still use him in all of the Smash games that have come after it, even though he's nowhere near as good anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Ultimate, like, there's definitely some people in tournaments that use... What I like about Ultimate is it's a pretty well-balanced game. Like, you see representation from like, almost everybody in the tournaments.
And I will say that it is... I actually think the game itself is every bit as good as Melee, which may not be the most popular opinion. I just haven't had enough people to... Like, you know, fighting games, you can only get so much mileage out of playing them by yourself.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Oh, dear.
And, unfortunately...
Oh, dear.
Ultimate has a pretty crappy online system. And they say they're working on their online in general. I think that's just from the backlash from the expansion pack, which they deserve the backlash. Like, holy shit, what were they thinking? But, yeah, I don't think that means they're gonna, like... update their netcode or go back to Ultimate and be like, hey, we're gonna do like rollback netcode. Like
rollback netcode.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Like, why can't they fucking do that? Like, one dude went in and made rollback netcode for Melee on the Dolphin emulator. Like, can't be that hard.
I also like Melee is one of those games that showcases Nintendo's kind of anti-consumer bullshit a little bit.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Where they, like, actually file lawsuits against groups that hold Melee tournaments. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid.
That is
Nintendo
absolutely,
definitely...
like, anti-fan... Because they want people buying the new game and not... Like, what the hell is that? Who cares, man?
Yeah. Also, yeah, they will, like, totally go ahead and sue, like, one person in particular. Like, they don't mind doing that.
Like, if someone makes, you know, $1,000 streaming, like, a Melee tournament, you better believe Nintendo wants a piece of that pie.
Yeah.
Oh, gonna get him?
You gonna get him?
Gonna get him?
Oh, God.
Oh, no. Oh, no! Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. You really have to lay into that faceplate.
Yeah. Jeez. Oh, that's a pretty good strategy. Oh.
All right, fucker. Where you at? Get down here. There it is.
Nice.
Get over here. Did I tell you I watched the new Mortal Kombat movie?
Oh no, what'd you think? Yeah.
Just Like I really enjoyed the last fight between Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Like that was cool.
Yeah.
I liked the character. I liked some of the character designs.
Speed
Booster, yeah. Mm-hmm. I liked some of the character designs, and that's really the most positive thing I would say about it. Like it felt like the most not Mortal Kombat movie they could have possibly made while still having Mortal Kombat characters in it. I don't know.
Did they try to make it like more serious or something? Like
you haven't seen it?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Basically, like they introduced in a movie with Liu Kang in it. They for some reason introduced a totally new protagonist, which I just don't understand. No, not interesting.
Who's not in the games at all?
Correct. Yeah,
okay.
and he's the most milquetoast, boring ass character. Like,
oh, why?
It's almost like like in one of those '90s kids cartoon where like little Timmy gets sucked into Nintendo World.
Oh, okay. Maybe they want you to be him.
Yeah,
something.
It kind of feels like that. But you're all like he's also supposed to be like a total badass. So I don't.
Wait, what the hell?
What that's about.
Is that a speed booster?
Yes.
Mechanic?
It is, and I don't know what purpose it served. I saw that there, and I was like, okay, I must do this. But was I wrong? It's not even flashing. There's nothing. There's straight up nothing in this room. Why is that there? here's a spread
teach you
missile
maybe
thing. Uh-oh.
Well, there's something.
Well, yeah, but this isn't until I get the Damn it! There we go. The spread missile thing in order to unlock this.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But the speed booster doesn't have anything to do with that. Oh, so I am going up here. Ugh. All right, we are slowly making progress again.
Wait, are you already? Oh no, this is a different one. Okay.
Yes, this is technically this is the same area.
Yeah,
but
that's what I meant. Sorry,
just a different portion of it.
Oh, that looks awesome.
I know.
I actually like just the animation of her running too.
And now we're up to 5 energy tanks, just like that.
Wow.
Yeah, me too. I always like Shine Spark puzzles in these games.
Yeah. They're a lot of fun. Especially, when it just comes down to the timing and spacing and everything.
Yeah. So some
like
of
that one in Meridia is one of my favorite things in Super.
Yeah. So some of the ones in this game, I will say, I actually had to look up guides for, because they were a little bit too cryptic for my feeble brain.
That's kind of cool.
Time to drink water, cuz. Oh, you spend all day talking, and then you wonder why your voice is shot by the end of the day.
Oh, the whole thing about Ultimate.
Oh yeah, go on.
Because I'm like getting back into it, but for me it was just like the World of Light. Yeah, I unlocked all the characters the same way you did, just cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because that's the way to do it. You don't have 50 hours to spend playing a fighting game solo to unlock everybody.
Until I did, but that was just to get the spirits, because now I'm interested in getting them all for no reason.
For no reason.
But it's been kind of fun. I just love how much of a celebration that game is of all Nintendo and other games in general. And you always feel it, one with the DLC, and two just with the stages, the characters, the items, all this crap. But then the World of Light, just the stages and everything are really cool where they end up taking you, but some of the battles, I'm remembering when we were talking about bosses.
You were telling me like they actually made Dracula, even though he's not a playable character.
Well, that's true too. Is they have a few boss characters like Ganon, Dracula, and Dracula. It's like you got to hit his neck. Like it's just like
just go for his fucking neck.
Yeah, it's really cool. Who are the other bosses? There's Giga Bowser, but that's a Smash Brothers exclusive thing.
Yeah, we're not supposed to have this yet, but we'll open this way anyway, so I remember.
Do it.
We'll be right back here, I'm sure.
But when just all the other fights, when it's like, hey, you're gonna fight what's his name, Platoon or something from the wrecked ship in Super Metroid.
Oh, really?
And it'll just be like a yellow King Dedede, but he'll have all these electricity, things coming out of them or something.
Right.
And they always find a way to like make it kind of seem like you're fighting the thing.
It is a creative exercise, but at the same time, though, like the really rewarding ones have to be where they like actually create a special character model and have you fight.
Yeah, for sure. It's cool that they ended up creating some amiibo, or not amiibo, those Mii fighters, the shooter, sword fighter and stuff, that they created some costumes. Like, there's a lot of crappy costumes for sure, but then there's like 2 or 3 where instead of just putting like a hat on or something, they're like, we're going to create a completely different helmet, and once you put the things together, it looks like a brand new character.
Right.
So cool. They did that with like Sans from Undertale, Cuphead, so he looks just like Cuphead.
Right.
And as a shooter, like, he plays just like Cuphead.
Like Cuphead, yeah, that's awesome.
And then Shantae, which is like, yeah, whatever, but yeah, so yeah, that was pretty
Shantae.
But yeah, if you ever kind of get back into it, you should definitely get the DLC, just because the characters are definitely cool.
I would want to play as Joker. I know that.
Oh yeah. And then just the what do you call it? The care they put into like the winning animations and all that stuff. Like, you've seen it, like when Joker wins a battle,
he does like the actual pose from Persona. See, the only thing about the Joker DLC that really makes me mad is how dare they, without actually giving us a portable version of Persona 5? Like,
right?
Why have him in there and then only release Strikers? Which I'm sorry, I'm sure Strikers is a fine game. But
it is kind of just weird, isn't it?
I don't know. I haven't played it yet. I kind of.
Oh no, I'm just saying what you're saying about not having Persona 5 in general on the Switch.
Right, like I'm sure there's some legal reason they haven't done it, but like at the same time, Atlas seems willing to play ball with all of their other Shin Megami Tensei properties in Nintendo, so I don't know why Persona 5 is not on the Switch. It would be such a perfect fit.
Yeah, Sony might just be giving them
game.
A sweetheart deal, but at the same time, that would be like a timed exclusive. Like, would they really be like, yeah, give us this amount and we'll never release it anywhere else? Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. All right, there was absolutely no reason to come here. This is just where I got the grapple beam earlier.
I also feel like they definitely fixed some not oversights, but they fixed some like Cloud coming to Smash. He got an awesome stage, but he only got 2 songs, and they were ripped straight from Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, really? Like just the MIDI files?
Yeah, but when they put Sephiroth in, he got also a cool new stage, and they added like 14 new songs, and you can actually put, because they upgraded the game. They're like, okay, you know what? Every stage that has to do with a certain game, all of those songs will be available for any of those stages.
Oh, wow.
So now, nice. Like Midgar, instead of having those 2 songs, it has access to all of the new songs.
Uh-huh.
And there's like 7 or 8 of them that are actual Smash remixes. So, like, I don't know if you ever heard them yet, but like Eris's theme and the main Final Fantasy VII theme, the Smash Brothers Ultimate versions, are pretty good.
Really?
Like, yeah, they're awesome.
Nice.
So it's really cool just to like be fighting with the comet coming down or something, but it's fucking Mario and Solid Snake,
right?
It's just like, what the fuck is this game?
Like wondering what the hell is happening in this strange universe.
This game is so fucked up.
You know that I don't know. So it troubles me that 7 Remake is approaching its 2-year anniversary, and we've heard no details whatsoever about the sequel.
We've heard very general details that don't give me confidence.
I straight up,
get
up there. All right, guess we're going back around. I was wrong.
Damn.
Damn is right. Why? Hi, game. Wait, hold on. I wonder. I bet you I can bomb jump.
Oh, can you though?
I can. I believe in myself. Doesn't matter if you don't believe in me.
Don't fuck it up.
Okay.
Nice. All right.
Fuck it up. I find it a little easier to bomb jump in this one than in previous entries too.
Yeah, I find it interesting that you started with a jump.
Yeah. It just gives me a little extra elevation. There's no. I don't have a strategy. I'm just mashing. I'm just mashing buttons. Okay, so here's where we're going to spend the rest of the episode, probably.
Perennial.
Oh wait, no, we're not. This is the temple area, and then from here they deposit us like right in the forest zone, which is one of my favorite zones, actually.
Is this like a Chozo temple kind of dealio?
Yeah, essentially.
Those religious fucks.
Yeah, right. Don't push your religion on me, Samus.
And it seems like their religion was praising themselves. Like, I don't understand.
Why did they build all these altars to themselves?
Narcissistic, twisted assholes.
No, I guess when you, like, if we had, like, no knowledge of Greek mythology, that's probably what it would look like to us. Is like, why are there all these...
You know what? You're right.
Statues of muscle dudes everywhere.
Yeah, the gods were definitely...
They were just really sexy men, yeah.
Yeah, or I guess they would say we were formed after the gods, whatever.
I actually, I don't know enough about Greek mythology to give a definitive yay or nay on that. I mean, it seems about right, but...
Yeah, I guess if I looked like the fucking aliens from Prometheus, I would probably be full of myself, too.
Yeah, right? Oh, no!
Oh, jeez. Oh, it didn't explode or make a sound.
No, this is actually cool. This is something different from the Metroid series. It is a actual cutscene.
Yeah.
And it goes on for a little bit too, so get comfortable. Here's where we finally get some series lore.
Ooh.
What the fuck?
What is going on with her? Oh.
You actually get to meet and talk to a Chozo.
Oh. I mean, her suit came from them, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's canon that she actually was raised by Chozo.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's really only revealed in, like, supplemental materials. Samus...
manuals and stuff.
If all you go off is the main game, she's just, like, this enigmatic figure.
Yeah.
This is the first actual reference to the Chozo. So this is kind of neat. Basically, the boss of this game has kind of been working in the background of every other Metroid game. Like he's been trying to weaponize the Metroids since the beginning. They also have Star Destroyers, if you noticed.
Oh.
That's a straight up Star Destroyer up there. Yeah. He just took that right from Palpatine. They just raided that ship graveyard at the end of Rise of Skywalker. God, what a bad movie.
Oh my god, every single ship had a Death Star cannon on it. Like, how does that even make sense?
I don't know. What a bad
And if they always had that technology, yeah, what a bad movie.
The further I get away from that, the less I like it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too.
It's frustrating.
Disney just screwed the pooch. It is super frustrating. Like, how could you do that?
I know.
To like such a, I mean, what they're doing on Disney Plus is definitely so much better.
Yeah,
like,
Disney Plus. Like, I have nothing negative to say about Disney Plus, but like,
have you seen any of the Star Wars? Oh, what the fuck is it called? It's like different animated episodes.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm like halfway through that series and it's so good.
Okay, I've only
the
watched
Rock Band one. The second episode straight up made me cry.
I was just gonna say I only watched the first episode, so I gotta start watching it again.
Right, so
but
the second one will just like I don't know why. It's not like particularly emotional.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah, sorry, there's an actual story going on here.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, no, like, I don't know, Rise of Skywalker, like, I wanted to like it because, you know, it's the last in the supposed, you know, 9 central films, right?
Yeah.
And they like tried desperately to kind of round off some of the more unpopular decisions of Last Jedi, but I feel like Last Jedi would have been a stronger movie, and by extension this one, if they had just leaned into those decisions.
Yeah, if they leaned into, like, as controversial as they were,
right? Instead of making the third movie as a way to undo the second movie, that's not a good. That's a flawed premise, and so you're not going to come out with a strong film.
They should have just given us some more time to think. What's the best way to go
brought
forward.
Ryan Johnson back or something. Give him a chance to like explain what he was going for a little bit more. Because, you know, Last Jedi definitely had its. We've talked about this. Last Jedi had its flaws, but I didn't think it was hot garbage.
Oh shit! So that's what they do every time they kill you.
Yep. They're just trying to harvest her DNA. And yes, Samus finally talks. You know, in a
non-English, like.
Well, what was I going to say? Not Metroid. Oh my gosh, help me out here. Another Mother. What was it? What was that fucking game called?
Another M?
Remothered?
Or Other M.
Other M. There we go. Metroid Remothered. Oh fuck.
That is very hard to think of that as canon.
Yeah.
Even though, hey, you know what?
Parts
of that game were good.
Oh yeah. Oh, I actually, I'm in the rare position of actually having liked how that game played a lot.
Yeah.
But I will be the first to admit that story was not good.
It was very different. I won't say like, oh, I hope other Metroid games are like this. No. But for what it did, it was very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it basically felt like a next gen classic Metroid experience overall.
Yeah, it definitely felt like a Metroid game in a lot of parts.
It was held back, one, obviously by the story, which just wasn't good. Like the choices they made with Samus's character were weird, and it was a little too verbose, and then the only other major weakness was actually the Wii controller, which is weird because it didn't do all of the motion control stuff that makes other games on the Wii kind of weird.
It was a lot of context stuff since you only had a couple buttons.
Right, yeah, and the lack of buttons and the fact that you were holding it sideways like an NES controller. Like, if they had just made the Pro controller like required for that game and packaged them with it, it could have been nearly as good as classic Metroid from a gameplay perspective.
Or find a way to do it with nunchuck and Wii remote.
I'm a little confused as to why they didn't, because they even had 3D segments in that game, which is strange.
Which were a little weird
because you had to use the damn D-pad. Yeah. It was real weird. But so like overall, like I actually don't hate that game, but I'm also not like in any way like a fanboy of it. I know every game under the sun has its. Why did I go through all the trouble to do that? Every game under the sun has its like diehard supporters. I wouldn't say I'm one of those, but it's kind of like The Last Jedi, where I will say that it's not as bad as everyone gives it grief for. Damn it.
It's oh shit.
This one's hard to get. This is a Shine Spark puzzle.
What was I gonna say? Something about the biggest.
Oh.
Are you trying to Shine Spark to the right?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
I'll get it.
The biggest disservice it did is like you rightfully say, Samus is a kind of a mysterious character a lot of times.
Yeah, they took all the mystery away.
Not only the mystery, but like really you're gonna turn her into like the typical woman scientist from a sci-fi movie where it's just like, I just wanted to impress this older man,
right.
And that's the reason for all of my badassery. Like, fuck that.
Which is kind of interesting because this game really nails like what you feel like when you're playing as Samus. Like her personality in this game reflects that. For one thing, you just saw like the only line in the game that she actually has. For the rest of it, she's totally silent. But the way that she emotes is so well done. Like, because every boss fight, there's a scene where, you know, like she just does something really badass to kill it. And that's just Samus's personality. She's like this out of control space cowboy, you know, like, and it doesn't matter that she's a woman. Like, that was the brilliance of the first Metroid. You were playing this unstoppable soldier in space, and you didn't know what gender they were until the end.
Yeah,
and you know that's, you know, there are most modern games don't take that kind of a risk, you know.
No, right?
Or at the very least, they don't create female characters in that way. Right, like they create them like other M. You know, they have to have some kind of traditional effeminate traits that serve as the Oedipus for their actions, right? And in this, it's like, you know, her gender has really nothing to do with her overall character, right? She's just an awesome action hero. Yeah. Right, like male or female doesn't matter. It's just Samus being a hard ass.
Yeah, for 1988 or whenever that game came out, it was very forward thinking by not even. The biggest thing was just not making it a big deal at all.
Yeah, like it was just like, a matter of fact. Like, yeah. and I'm sure there were some, you know, weebs of that generation who hated it because, you know, like,
I was playing as a chick.
I've been playing as a girl. I'm not a girl. I'm a man.
Oh yeah.
And to be fair, like, I don't think I've ever heard anyone be super upset about, because she's such an iconic character. I've never heard anyone be upset about Samus, but I also, you know, wasn't playing video games when people would have actually been shocked to learn she was a female. Yeah. But, like, by the time we were growing up, like, she was already an established character, and it was just a matter of fact that she was a woman.
Yeah. Super Metroid is definitely the first Metroid game I played through myself.
Yeah, same, of course. Yeah. And you know, to this day, I actually haven't beat the original Metroid. I've obviously done Zero Mission, which is, you know, like AM2R. It's my headcanon way of playing that game, and I think for most people it is, because it's just better in every conceivable way.
Yeah, first time I beat it was on first and only time I beat it was on emulator, and it's like, you know, it's cool to do, but it's frustrating.
It is like it's just got 80s sensibilities, you know, it's marred by its limitations, and you know that's just, we've come a long way, baby.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Super Metroid definitely did a lot, and then Fusion, you know, kind of did a lot more, I guess, and you know, there's been incremental changes since then.
Right, like I can acknowledge a game's contribution to the art form without, you know, having to say it's necessarily a good game by modern standards, because that's a lie.
Exactly.
You know,
that's a lie. True.
It just is. Definitely like, a lie. It doesn't play well. It's hard to navigate. It's, you know, there's like good cryptic and bad cryptic. Like, there's, you know, we're gonna set this up and give you like vague hints on where to go, but like the joy of the game is figuring it out yourself. And then there's just like, every room looks the same because they only had 12 colors. So
exactly,
you know, like, good luck figuring it out.
You have Metroidvanias and games in the same vein, like indie games that even look similar, and they hold up because they you know, these days a lot has happened and they know what they're doing, and it's not annoying, vague, or cryptic, like you said.
No, they can actually create games that are intentionally, you know, tricky to navigate, but it feels rewarding when you finally do.
Yeah. So, I mean, it has its place in history because you could go left, up, and down. It wasn't just going right.
Yeah, like I said, you know, in a weird way, like, we don't really think about this, but like, modern open world games are a direct descendant of the Metroid formula. Like, open world as a concept wouldn't exist without Metroid. Not to say we wouldn't have like gotten there eventually, but modern open world games owe their legacy to Metroid. Like, Metroid pioneered map systems, it pioneered collectibles and unlockable upgrades. I mean, That was it's crazy to think about how revolutionary this series is.
Yeah, it's so weird because there's, you know, they add so much to it, but as far as the basic formula, like what has changed? Almost nothing.
Right? Yeah, map stations. I'm trying to think of like what else. Yeah,
maps and going back to places with new powers.
Oh yeah, like, backtracking, which kind of became a beast, but that's all right.
Yeah, the newest Metroidvania games, they still do these exact same things,
And then Symphony of the Night, the Vania half of Metroidvania, it basically borrowed Super Metroid's gameplay to a T, but it married it with RPGs, and that was revolutionary.
That's true. The RPG portion of it didn't exist before Symphony, as far as I know.
Right.
Didn't exist before Symphony of the Night, and that was just like a dream come true. Like, holy shit.
Oh, without question. I mean, like, you look at the Souls games and everything. I mean, those all owe a lot to classic Metroid. It's weird how a series with only 5 main entries and a couple of FPS spin-offs has had this big of an impact on gaming culture.
Yeah.
That is very so much of the things that people enjoy today were pioneered in some way by Metroid.
Yeah, there is dozens and dozens times more Metroidvania games than there are Metroids or Castlevanias. Like, kind of funny. But yeah, I would say but really Metroid just pioneered the whole formula, which you could say is simple and someone would have done it eventually, which I believe, but they didn't. And you say it's easy, like, not you, but like you might say it's easy, but
it's like,
this stuff just didn't exist.
Right, yeah.
Like,
of course you want to have a map station and missile upgrades. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, someone had to think of it first, and it was Nintendo in freaking 1994 with Super Metroid that did a lot of this amazing stuff that we enjoy.
Yeah, it only seems obvious because someone did it already. Like,
exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
like a everything's Battle Royale or something.
No one did a Battle Royale until, the capability of doing it with good internet has existed since like the PS2 days, sort of.
Yeah, that's weird to think about too.
Definitely the Xbox 360 days, but it didn't really happen until players.
Which is kind of hilarious because I still tend to treat like online multiplayer like it's a new concept and not real gaming, but it is absolutely antiquated by this point.
Oh yeah. I think, I don't do a lot of competitive online gaming.
No,
I know a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And that's like their whole thing with gaming, and they don't even do single-player games, which is weird to me.
Right.
Especially as an adult, I'm a little bit more picky, so it's like either something's really fun, or it has a good story, or you have a rare game like, Hades, which is both.
Right.
But, which I don't remember if you played that game or not.
No, I've heard you talk about it, and I'm aware that it's a really good game. I just haven't touched it yet.
Yeah, it's just one of those games where you see the trailers, and it's just like, what the fuck is everyone talking about?
Yeah, and then you play it, and it just comes to life.
It's one of those things like you just have to play it. There's no other
play it to understand. Gotcha.
No other way to explain it. Yeah.
Damn it.
Now, what are you using on that thing to
grapple hook?
That is the grapple hook. Okay, I was wondering. Like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. They relegated it to its own button in this game, which is kind of cool.
That is. I see, because they have the blue thing that's like your clue, I guess.
Right. Yeah, anything blue is interactable with the grapple hook. So yeah, like the whole reason like online gaming never really caught on for me, with very, very few exceptions. I'm like the way that I consider games is kind of like reading a book. Like I do it in private. And it's like just kind of contemplative me time, as opposed to like something that I want to do like in a loud and like competitive environment, like a sport.
Yeah.
You hooker. And like if I do share games, like I do it like we're doing right now. That's the whole reason we did Play the Hits in the first place, was because I wanted to share our thoughts on these games that we love. Right,
yeah.
But like we don't play them competitively. We barely even do co-op.
Yeah, it's
and that's like as multiplayer as I get with my games. The one and only exception, and it's not a competitive game, but it's a MMO, and that's Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's the only online game where I ever truly got invested and completely sucked in. And 14 is just a special game.
I remember most of the games we would play, if it was together, it was usually something like, say, Mario Brothers, where you would take turns.
Right. We would either take turns, or we would just play a one-player game in the same room and appreciate it together.
Yes. Yeah, and I feel like, the newer Mario games, even in the old style, it's like now you play together at the same time. It's like, no.
Yeah, like
I think that's cool, but no.
They are cool, but they're not as fun to me. Like, I just like classic two-player. But you know what's weird is that Donkey Kong Country I really like, which is, but it's different because only one player is actually in charge of movement at the time. But you feel like even though you're both playing technically simultaneously, you're it's more like passing the baton. You're on the same team, but one person carries you some of the way and the other person carries you the rest of the way if they have to.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, to me that's different enough.
I still gotta play those games. Maybe when DK Freeze ever goes on sale.
Oh yeah, Tropical Freeze. I actually really want to repurchase that. I have it on the Wii U, but I would rather have it on the Switch just because, duh, it's the Switch.
Yeah.
This is another one of those bosses where, like, the first time you do it, it's like, holy shit, what do I do? But
this
once
is
you
a
figure
little...
it out, it's
not
because there's like so many moving parts to it.
Yeah, it's more like the first time, it's like, wait, what do I do first? What the fuck?
All right. There we go. We got him.
Ooh, nice.
And now it's dead. It's not the hardest boss in the game.
Eat your heart out, Georgia O'Keeffe.
Oh, God. What pretty flowers. Oh, man. Dude, you know how, like, every once in a while you'll see something on the internet and you'll just be like, God, I'm old.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah. I of all things, I felt compelled to make a joke on Reddit. Like, I'm mostly like a Reddit lurker. I don't do a lot of posting.
Yeah.
But there was when the PS5 was first revealed, you remember the episode of Everybody Loves Raymond where the mother makes the vagina sculpture by accident?
No, I don't.
Okay, so there was an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond in 19 what the fuck ever, we're ancient. And she to enrich herself, she takes a pottery course or a sculpture, a clayworking course. And she makes this piece that she's really super proud of, and she like has no idea what she's created. It's abstract, but you look at it and it's very clearly just a giant vagina. And she gifts it to Raymond because he's the favorite son, and the whole joke is like she won't give it to Robert, and Robert's like, you're stuck with the vagina. And, they never actually say the word vagina because it's 1998.
Yeah,
you can't say that on TV yet. But yeah, like that's the whole premise. But the hilarious thing is, if you were to look up if you were to Google search, Everybody Loves Raymond, Marie sculpture, you would see it looks just like a PS5. And so, and so there was a thread on Reddit where people were joking about the PS5's design because it's kind of unconventional, and so they were posting different things that it looks like. And I was like, okay, I see it. I'm going to contribute in some small way and post this picture from Everybody Loves Raymond. And, like, people were straight up making, like, my internet feelings got hurt. It's like, nobody even understands what this is. People weren't alive when this aired.
God.
Why would you post this? And I was like, oh, my God. For one thing.
That's also just very egocentric. It's just like, hey, people who enjoy this shit, there's a lot of people who are older than you, dipshit.
Right, like this doesn't matter because it's completely irrelevant today. It's like, I don't care.
that is kind of sad though, where it's just
but again, like at the end of the day, woe is me. Nobody liked my Everybody Loves Raymond joke. But at the same time though, it was just like one of those shocking things. Like, wow, dude, I have nothing in common with your average Reddit age poster.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, I understand that Reddit is a huge platform, and there are absolutely people on it who are like twice as old as I am, if not older. But at the same time, though, like, you know, people who are talking about the PS5 on average are much younger than me, and that makes me a little bit sad because, you know, this is still my hobby. and you don't,
I get that.
And you whippersnappers don't get to touch it. Because you don't you don't understand how significant the Metroid series is like I do.
What was their first system? Like a PlayStation 2 or something?
Probably not even that. Yeah. Dude. Probably like a Wii. Or
oh, jeez.
When you think about it, like if you're 15 years old, like if you're in high school today, then you were born during the end of the Wii era. Isn't that wild?
That is. So it's just like, okay, if you're 15 today, the first games you'd be playing, like 5 years old or something like that. Yeah, would have been end of the Wii era, would have been...
Actually, I guess more like the beginning of the Wii era. But by the time you were old enough to hold a controller, you were talking like PS4 was coming out.
Well, like, it was 2011, so let's say a 15-year-old, 14-year-old, something like that, they'd be 4 or 5 in 2011.
Yeah, that
would be,
my mind.
Like, when did, like, it was like 5 years old when Connor, like, kind of first started sort of playing games?
Yeah, pretty much.
4? So it'd be like,
and even now, like, he doesn't, like, what he really likes to play, I hate to say this, he's a fucking little mobile gamer.
Mobile? Oh, no.
Like, he'll pick up a controller to play Pokemon and Mario Party, but he's a total casual, man. My kid's a casual. He's a fucking casual.
Well, I mean, there's Michael, so...
Yeah, there's still Michael.
No. No, I see a lot of times that it'll be like, oh, Chris is playing, like, Pokemon or Mario Kart, and I'm like, is that probably Connor?
Yep, that's Connor. He just uses my account because he's not old enough to have his own.
Oh, yeah. What was I gonna say?
Even on Nintendo's weird online multiplayer, I don't want him interacting with people on the internet yet.
No, I get it. Yeah, he's still young. I feel like, so freshmen and even sophomores in high school today, they would have been in the middle of the Wii, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era.
Correct.
Yeah,
but
2 years away from Xbox One, PS4.
Right, but like you just pointed out, the thing that we have to remember is that's when they were born. Like, you and I were born...
Well, no, that's when they were like 5.
Right. Well, no, like, you and I were born when the NES first came out, right? But that doesn't mean that the NES was really our first system. Like, we started gaming around the SNES.
Yeah, Super Nintendo was our system.
Right.
And theirs would be like PS3.
Yeah, or actually probably more the PS4.
Sort of. Yeah, I guess if it was like 7 or 8. Yeah, you're right, because it was like when I was 5, I was playing games, but I wasn't good at them.
No, like I was basically like watching the older, cooler kids play them and being
it wasn't
imitating what they did.
Yeah, it was like 7 or 8 is when I could actually like beat. And I still wasn't good, but I could actually beat some games.
I was gonna say I will say that my 6-year-old ass straight up got good at Mario 3 back in the day.
Oh, nice. Mario 3 was tough for me. Actually, Mario 3, I could always, as a young kid, I could always get to World 8, and then that's where it stopped.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, if you watched Nick and my playthrough of Mario 3, then you will know that I have lost whatever magic I had with that game. But at the same time,
World 8 cranks it up. Like,
it does, but I lost my mojo around World 3.
Oh. Oh, did you do like a full playthrough?
We did, yeah. We did, yeah. Nice. It's on our YouTube page, but
yeah.
If
that just reminded me of something.
Go ahead.
Just Celeste. We gotta
do that, don't we?
We gotta do that.
We gotta do that. We gotta
do
Cuphead.
Game.
There's actually some. We were just talking about.
Oh
co-op.
fuck!
There are some really like random co-op games. Like remember when we did that episode of Stick Fighter? There's some stuff on the Nintendo Switch online shop similar to that would be really fun, like 2 or 3 episode plays.
It's so funny that the Switch is the only system where when there's a big sale, I just go on YouTube. I'm like, okay, YouTubers, tell me the hidden gems, because there's a lot of them, right. You know, and they'll go on sale because people don't buy them. They'll be like, hey, here's the Zelda Link to the Past clone that's $4 right now.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's like, cool, sweet, sign me up. And speaking of Metroidvanias, there are a shit ton of them on the Switch.
Oh yeah,
and they go on sale. So
well, going back really very briefly to my original point, like so NES, we were born with it, but we didn't grow up with it, right? We grew up with the SNES.
Yeah.
You put an SNES or PS1 era game in my hand, and I will absolutely dominate it. So
yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Yeah, Super Nintendo, I feel like, for whatever reason, it's like riding a bike, you know?
Like the controller just feels, it's like the default controller
right.
for me to this day.
It feels right, it does. Wow. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, right? Get the fuck out of there.
However, my analysis suggests that you would not be a worthy adversary for him, not even at full power.
We'll fucking see about that.
One thing still eludes me. Why did Raven Beat spare you during that encounter? Something must have motivated
It's a
him.
mystery.
Oh, they're talking about... I thought they were talking about just a little while ago. I was like, wasn't that just some nobody?
No, that was at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, they're talking about beginning, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
Oh, what was I saying? I don't know. Something about... something. Metroidvanias on the Switch.
Oh, yes, yeah. There's a bunch of Metroidvanias on the Switch.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I gotta play, what do you call it? Axiom Verge 2.
Oh, I didn't realize
one.
that was already out.
Oh, yeah, it's out. It's been out for a couple of months. And, I don't think it's a Switch exclusive, but it might be, which is weird to think about. But that game, when you talk about, like, hidden rooms and stuff...
Yeah, holy
which
shit.
Actually, yeah, Castlevania games actually do that pretty well, too.
Yeah, Axiom Verge cranks that shit up to 11, though.
Because they get random. Every time you start the game up, the hidden rooms are randomized.
Oh
and since they decide to do it in a different dimension, it'll just be like, in this room, it'll be like the little green thing by the Chozo's feet. That's just like, hey, put into a morph ball and go into here.
Yeah, go into the pocket dimension and then snake your way.
And then it's humongous, and it's like, it doesn't have to make sense. It's that's what I loved about that game. It was just fucking weird. And all they had were like different weapons, but like you would only collect 15% of the weapons in any playthrough unless you were nuts. So yeah, Axiom Verge did a really good job with the hidden stuff.
Oh yeah,
I definitely want to play the second one.
It's weird to think about that you and I played that online together before we were doing play. That was like the game we did right before we came up with Play the Hits.
Yeah, geez. So what would that have been? Like,
that would have been
almost 5 years ago.
Oh god, yeah, dude.
Fuck.
Yeah, no, I'm having like so many of these moments lately where like, you know, like how it feels like we just had our 10-year high school reunion. And now we're coming up on our fucking 20-year reunion in 4 years. That's not right. That's
nuts. Yeah, I feel like when my college reunion came up, which is this year, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
It was just like, didn't I just pass my high school one? Like,
yeah, seriously,
and
this is not okay.
Pandemic does not make that any better. In fact, made it much
like,
worse.
Yeah, because you're in like such a pocket that like time is becoming meaningless.
That time. This is just a small block. Like, I swear to God, 5 years from now, when, you know, the quarantine part of COVID is like just a distant memory, it'll feel like such a short amount of time, even though it's been excruciatingly long living it. Like, Addie went to work for the first time a couple weeks ago, and she hasn't been back, but, you know, they're going to start doing like 1 or 2 days there and then the rest at home. But... she was just describing it, and it kind of sounded like she's been in hypersleep. You know, working from home and everything. It's kind of like it felt so long, feeling. But then going back there, it's like, oh, I was just here the other day, you know? So it feels like no time at all, weirdly.
Yeah. It is a strange feeling. Like it is. Yeah. I will say the one silver lining, I actually, this morning, I just got done teaching an 8-week like introduction to Christianity class, and there was one lady in it who's, you know, in her 50s and a really sweet lady, but then the rest of them were like post-college people and like newlyweds, and you know, they're people that I identify with as my age group, but I came to find out that they're all like 10 years younger than me. And so, like, I was distraught. But when I was kind of joking about that a little bit with them, and I'm like, I say you guys are my age, but you guys are, in a different place than I am, and that's really cool. But we have, stuff that's going to be interesting for you guys to consider too, as you like build your families and start your careers and yada yada yada. And someone made a comment which really flattered me, which is, if it makes you feel any better, I would have never guessed that you're 10 years older than we are. And so I'm like, oh,
there we
thank
go.
you. Yes.
There we go.
I've become one of those people that I always envied. Like, the person who's like in their 60s, but they could pass for 40.
Yeah.
40s. Like, I'm
flattery
hoping...
will get you everywhere in this class.
Absolutely. So. You can take communion right now. But no, that again made me feel good, but at the same time, it's so, like, I'm so trapped. Like, I've never understood, like, you and I have like aunts and uncles. You probably do, but I definitely do. That kind of like are perpetually in the 80s.
Yes.
Like, their frame of reference is just 1985. Like, for you and me, that's going to be 2010. Like, that's just mentally, like, where we think of ourselves, or like,
I wonder
culturally,
if that was
like when we were relevant.
It was also the beginning of our last phase of life, I feel like, is what it is.
Don't say that.
Because the first few phases are so quick.
Yeah, they are, but they feel like forever. Like the 4
2010.
years, like middle school, 7th and 8th grade, like I have so many vivid memories of like 7th and 8th grade, and it felt like I was there substantially longer than I, than a lot of other parts of my life. But it's just, time is relative, right?
Yeah.
Anywho, like this is a weird conversation, but tying it back to gaming, it's weird to think of, like, right now, like, I'm still like a technophile. I love, my iPads and my PS5s and everything, but I think a lot more critically about purchasing them, because in my mind it's like, man, in 6 years this is going to be obsolete, and I'm going to have to drop $500 again.
I get that, yeah.
But, when I was a kid, I'm like, 6 years is fucking forever,
This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So that was a really roundabout way of saying that, but you get it. You understand what I'm feeling.
I definitely get it. At the same time, what's nice is a system like the Switch, well, I shouldn't say this, is like, oh my god, we finally gotten to a place where games are never going to look bad, going back.
No.
And it's like, that's kind of true, but at the same time, you play like PS5 or the Xbox, or for me, it's like playing like Forza or something on the new computer, and then I go back to Switch, and it's just like,
is this really worth playing?
Like, I don't mind that it doesn't look super crazy fidelity, but could we just make this in 4K? And that's me being a total asshole. Like,
yeah, me too. Like, I've become such a graphics snob lately, and the reason for that really is the PS5. Like, I used to kind of turn up my nose at 4K gaming, but boy, it's crisp.
Yeah,
it really is special.
It really,
and well, I was just going to say there's supposed to be there's supposed to be a 4K patch getting released for The Witcher 3. And so I forgot when it was supposed to come out, and I thought they said the end of 2021. So I popped it into my PS5 to see if it was there yet. And it wasn't yet. But so I was like, oh, hey, well, while I've got while I've got it plugged into the PS5, I might as well play a little bit of it and, just have some fun. And it's a really fun game. But it's crazy because, when I played it in 2016, which feels like yesterday, as we just established, these
graphics were nuts.
Yeah, the graphics were absolutely mind-blowing. Like, this is an open world, and they have this level of detail and everything. And I looked at it, last week, and I thought to myself, it looks good, but I am not blown away. Like, even though I have vivid memories of being absolutely blown away. Yeah.
Yeah.
And not like memories
you got that
from
Demon Souls, like,
and not like memories from childhood, but memories from like last week. That's what it feels like.
I know, I get it, man. And that's how I feel about the Switch a lot of times. This game looks good. It's always going to look good. It's not like PlayStation 1 games where that's all they could do, but it looks dated.
Right.
Like, unless
the blocky textures have like kind of this weird retro charm to them now. Like, yeah. It's weird.
It's like, unless indie game is going for that specifically, indie games just don't have to look bad anymore.
No,
like they just
even.
never do again. And that's cool. But at the same time, it's just the fidelity aspect of it. I was just like, man, but this could look crisper, couldn't it? The text could be like super. Oh, I could read this from across the room, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you just get spoiled. And
you do. It's nuts. And like, you know, I kind of I absolutely wish that this whole like console crisis and chips shortage would be over now, because I feel like even though I've owned the PS5 since February, I still don't feel like it's really here yet. I don't feel like this generation has properly kicked off, because for most people, you can't buy a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. They're just not commercially available.
Gaming has grown so much since the PS3, Xbox 360 days. And even since the PS4 days, it's grown quite a bit.
Yeah.
So the sales, it's outpacing the PS4, and yet there are so many people that want one and don't have one.
Right. They're like, the sales are being outpaced, but they're not being put into the hands of consumers. They're being put into the hands of internet trolls, right? Like, which is just stupid. Like, you have guys in you know, first world parts, you know, the UK and the US, who have literal basements full of PS5 stock, and they're just waiting to sell them because they
for like thrice the price,
right? Because they put a program on their computer that purchases it the second it becomes available, as opposed to people who actually want to play video games on it.
And I'm hoping
you can absolutely buy a PS5 today if you want to pay $900 for it.
Yeah.
Which is
it's
stupid.
Like, this has been around for so long, especially with Nintendo stuff, when they'll drop like a Super Nintendo Classic or something like that. And these bots have been around for a really long time, but with the chip shortage and the fact that this has
like
been going on
storm.
for a year.
Right. It's like so much bullshit all at once that it's exasperating the problem.
I really hope that this changes things. You can see it in, like, for the graphics cards, they're at least doing something about it sometimes.
Right.
Like, hey, we're going to put you in a queue, and once we email you, like, everyone's going to have a chance, but you're just going to have to be in line.
Right.
At least you're guaranteed one after a few weeks, few months. You know,
Yeah.
Someone had to, like, you're hearing about it. It seems like the average wait time is like 6 to 8 months or something, which sucks. But it's like, at least you're eventually guaranteed one.
Right.
And places are starting to limit how many you can get, track your IP address, things like that.
Like, basically, retailers are just going to have to get smarter, which kind of sucks for them, because, you know, a scammer pays the same price as a legitimate customer, so what's the difference to them? Like, why should they have to, you know, police who is buying their merchandise, right?
Yeah, and that's the reason it's taken so long.
Exactly. So basically, like, it's up to the consumer and to the video game industry. Wow, I just messed that up horribly. To incentivize the sale of consoles and games, so that people stop getting scammed online. It sucks.
Yeah. It's going to be like most things where they don't have too much of an incentive. It's all right, you got it.
There we go. I just had to pay attention.
It's going to be one or two people do it first because they just want to be consumer friendly, or they just want to get business, and then everyone else is going to be like, ah, shit, and have to follow suit.
Right.
You know, that's how it usually is.
Totally. Okay, so next save point's going to have to be our last, unfortunately, because I'm really getting into this again. But yeah, no, like, why did I even bring that up? Oh yeah, so like, you know, this generation of games, it's really cool, and like, I am absolutely blown away by the graphical fidelity of the PS5. I feel like I'm finally getting some serious mileage out of the Black Friday TV that I bought. And,
nice.
You know, it's awesome, but like, I'm not playing the PS5 as regularly as I was the PS4, because even though we're a year in, there aren't a whole ton of exclusive games for it just yet.
That's true.
And you know, like the big one that I'm really looking forward to comes out on my birthday, actually, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Forbidden West.
Yeah, Forbidden West.
Nice.
And so I'm really excited for that, and I'm hoping that will kind of jumpstart the, you know, kind of PS5 exclusive era. But at the same time, I can't help but feel like part of the reason that we're not there already is just how few actual gamers own the console.
Yeah, that's true, and it's also everyone working from home slowed things down.
Because, like, you know, people are buying the PS5 consoles. Yeah, all of the X-Parasites got out, so now
I was about to, and can I just say that the backgrounds are definitely starting to look more interesting now.
Yes, they are. So the planet is now fucked. But anyways, yeah, so people, scammers are buying the consoles, right, so that they can sell them online for double what they paid.
Yeah.
But they're not buying the games because, you know, games don't have to have, you know, chips to produce, so they're much more easy to mass produce, or you could buy them digitally. So I can't help but feel like, from the developer's standpoint, then, if, you know, most people who are going to buy my game don't have next gen hardware yet, then I better develop it more for, like, PS4 generation and just make like a texture pack for the PS5, which isn't the same as a PS5 exclusive.
No, it's smart business sense, and I'm kind of surprised, maybe not surprised, but it's like Insomniac doing Ratchet and Clank exclusive for PS5. It's like they were probably paid a pretty penny to be like, hey, make something as a showcase game, as a killer app for the PS5.
And them too. They're a Sony studio now, so
now they are. Yeah,
they were making money in house before that game even got launched. So Sony could afford to take that hit.
Yes,
with the hope that you know, down the road it was going to pay off in dividends once more people get PS5s.
And that game is one that perfectly illustrates what you're saying. Is a game like Miles Morales absolutely looks better on the PS5, runs better, but a game like Ratchet and Clank is only possible. Oh shit! Yeah,
so now he's infected by the X-Parasites, and he's gonna let all of the Emmys that he deactivated back out.
Wow.
Oh, they're back now. We had like a 5-minute reprieve from them.
Also, how do the X-Parasites, like, where do they come from?
So, if you heard him, he went to SR388, and which is the homeworld of the X-Parasites, or is that correct? Homeworld of the X-Parasites and the Metroids, something like that. But anyways, he brought them back to study them, and
Raven, what's his name?
They were contained in that place where I just was, and we accidentally let them out. So Samus actually kind of screwed the pooch right there.
Damn it, Samus.
Yeah, come on, Samus. So now every enemy in the game is harder. But we're also going to get more.
So that was kind of showing you that everything kind of got infected.
Correct. The whole planet now is infected with the X-Parasites.
Fuck.
Yeah. See?
Wow.
Like, from here on out, they actually replace... You know how we've had, like, the Super Metroid purple power-ups?
Yeah. Now it's like fusion.
From now on, everything is fusion. Isn't that cool?
That is cool. This definitely feels like the final game.
Yeah, they married
it's like a way
to
wrap it all up.
Yeah,
you know?
They absolutely married the two concepts.
It's like a greatest hits of Metroid.
It is. Where's the damn... Okay, there's the save point.
There's what was I gonna say? I've heard some things about like glitches or a save point glitch or something. Like it's making progress impossible. Have you heard anything about that? They might have already patched it.
Maybe. I know, but I haven't heard about it, though. I'm hoping we don't hit it right now.
Yeah, and you definitely haven't hit it. Yeah, okay, so that's good. What's the worst glitch you think you've ever experienced in a game? Or messed up your save or something? It's
super obscure. Well, actually, it's a tie. I'll tell you the first one first. It's there was a game that was released for the Nintendo DS called Black Sigil, and I don't know if you remember it, but it was an RPG, and it was built like before indie games were doing this constantly. This game was released to kind of capture the retro feel of Chrono Trigger, but it wasn't like an indie game. It was just made by a smaller development studio. Like it predated indie games basically. It was an early DS title, And
but it was still paying homage.
Yeah, right. And it looked exactly like Chrono Trigger. Like the sprites were straight out of FF6.
Well, fuck.
So
now
was
I'm gonna
the
have
world.
to check this out myself.
It was a really good
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was a really good game that nobody heard of and even fewer probably played. But I was one of them. And but the problem with it being, it was kind of a rushed development. And because it was a smaller studio, they didn't have money to blow on like quality testing and things like that. So there were some weird glitches in that game. One of them was a glitch where about halfway through the game, you come to a story point and you're supposed to go talk to like the elder of a village. You go to talk to him, his dialogue pops up and there's no dialogue, and the game is just frozen. Ooh. Okay, the whole game. And this is a DS cartridge. There's no online update. Okay, the game is literally frozen at this point. And I don't think it happens for everybody, but if your stats are a certain number or, you know, something in the algorithm is messed up, you know, his dialogue box is just blank and you're fucked. So I actually emailed like the studio who made this game and like the fucking president of the studio or something, you know, who's just a regular guy because they're not like setting the world on fire yet or anything.
Yeah.
He emails me back and he's like, "Oh, that's weird. We've never seen this glitch before." The president said, "I'm going to play the game up to this point and see if I can duplicate it and get back to you." So I wait for a week while my game is just frozen in limbo. I'm 16 hours into a 30-hour RPG. I don't want to start from the beginning again. So he emails me back and calls me by my first name. He's like, "Hey, Chris, we tested this out. What you have to do is copy your save into the second save slot, load it from there, and you should be good to go."
Wow.
And I did it, and it worked. So like, that was easily my
crazy.
Most memorable glitch. Now,
shit. Well, I'm glad I asked. That's a pretty good story.
That's a pretty cool story. Yeah, the developer of Black Sigil. Like, I forget his name, but kudos to that guy. I hope his studio succeeded and they're making big bucks for a bigger studio now or something.
Yeah, I hope those people went on to good things.
And Black Sigil was a good game. But
all right,
the worst one though was actually and to this day, like, this killed my enjoyment of an entire series. Are you ready for this shit?
Yeah.
On the PS4, it was I think it was a launch title even, but because it was also a PS3 game. The Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor.
Oh yeah.
Cool game. Like, it had an Arkham City combat system and kind of Assassin's Creed style exploration, but it was set in Lord of the Rings land, right? I got halfway through that game. I loaded my save, and all of my upgrades, like all of my character progress, including ones that you don't get just by upgrading your skill tree, but ones that the game gives you in order to progress through the environments, they're all gone. Everything.
Oh.
But like, I'm still at the same point in the game. So like, I literally can't progress because like I don't remember what, but like the grapple hook, right, that you're supposed to have in your inventory, it's gone. Right?
What the fuck?
I know. And
did you look this up? Like,
well, but here's the thing. I'm not the only one who's experienced this glitch, and they did patch it out, but if you have a save point that, you know, was like 3/4 of the way through the game when this glitch happens, your only option, even if you've patched it, is to restart. I never restarted, and I'm not going to play the sequel without having beat the first one, so
dude.
It's really sitting here on my shelf, and it's a good game. Like, I enjoyed the game, but I just don't want to sit, like, I'm so bitter by that experience. I don't want to sit down and play through 25 hours of it again.
So I'm thinking you didn't get the sequel.
No, I actually do have the sequel, but I didn't. I didn't pay for it. It was one of the PlayStation Plus games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So this has been the longest ending to an episode ever, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know for sure. That's like, I don't have anything that was that game breaking. I have like Mortal Kombat 2, and I've never been able to recreate it, but I'm young. I have a good thing going. That game's fucking hard, and they cheat. So I'm gonna cheat back. I'm just gonna keep throwing my harpoon out at Scorpion. And that worked for like 4 or 5 battles until I'm fighting Jax. And he's just ducking and ducking and ducking. And then he starts crawling, and what I mean is, he in his duck animation, he just goes
to the floor
and just
moves
towards me.
Oh my god!
And uppercuts me.
That sounds terrifying.
I wish this was in the era of making
YouTube?
and making videos, because I would have been like, someone clip that shit. Like,
right?
I have never seen that recreated anywhere. I wonder if I can recreate it one day, but I would probably have to bust out my Super Nintendo, because I wouldn't. I feel like they might have fixed that. But the one that definitely bummed me out the most was my first disc of FF10, and thankfully, this was in the era of memory cards.
Right.
But I was playing FF10, having a grand old time, my first time playing it, and I get to the third battle with Seymour on Mount Gagazet.
Oh, I know.
It's a tough
that exact battle,
and that is a tough battle. It's like you try
before
to
you learn how to break the
something.
game. It is, but
Yeah, it's a tough battle. It's like, let me get my summons, and he's like, death awaits you, and just like, fuck your summon. It's really tough. And I finally, after many tries, I beat him, and the game just locks up.
No,
like there's actually a cutscene, I think, right after it. And it just wouldn't load, and I tried cleaning my disc. I tried, these little disc cleaner things that you'd buy at the store, and that didn't work. And disc replay, because I got this game used, they're like, oh, sorry, we have like a 5-day return policy or something. And it's like, this is an RPG.
Dude,
like,
fuck you guys.
5 days isn't good, so I had to rebuy the game. I had to buy the game new.
Dude, we were like 14? That wasn't walking around money,
No, that sucked. So I had to wait like 3 weeks to get back into that game, and then I had to be Seymour again. I
vaguely remember this.
Yeah,
I think I remember you
probably
talking
bitched about it to you.
You and I were like in a race to beat it, and I beat you, but only because you had to stop 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah, that fucking sucked. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, anyways, dude, this
it looks like Samus is shot putting.
It does, right? Whoa. It's a great trip down memory lane, but we'll see you next time on Play the Hits.
All right, buddy. See you then.
See ya.